Recently, there has been a lot of debate about the price of GTA 6. The standard edition is going to be a humble 80 bucks. And naturally, internet reacted like the calm and reasonable person they are. People started to ask, is the $80 price tag justified? Will this set the new standard for the rest of the games? Are we about to enter the $80 gaming era where every publisher look at Rockstar and they're like, wait, we can do that? Not to even mention Nintendo looking from a closet, rubbing their hand, knowing that damn well they started that shit for Mario Kart and the Zelda Nintendo Switch 2 edition. But this topic sent me into a rabbit hole about video game pricing. And the deeper I went, the less sense it made. Because what actually decides the value of a video game? Is it the length? Because in that case, Assassin's Creed's bloated game design should cost more than both of my kidneys combined. And I have O-. That shit is expensive in the black market. Is it the graphics? Then why Virtue Racing on Sega Genesis cost $100? The rope physics? The replayability? The brand name? The budget? I don't know, the amount of fun you can get out of the game? The story? In that case, Red Dead Redemption 2 deserves way more than $60. But I guess I'm scared, sister. Because we live in a civilized universe where Elden Ring and Saints Row Reboot were launched at basically the same price. And we all know how Saints Row Reboot was.
Presumably one that makes fucking waffles?
The masterpiece known as Golem cost more than Shadow of the Earth 3 DLC. Minecraft probably should cost $4,000 because of the amount of hours you can pour into it. And Resident Evil 3 Remake should pay me, apologize to my family, and send me a used Ada Long socks as an apology because of how short that game was. And to justify the price tag, they just threw in a multiplayer game that I cannot even play anymore because they delisted it. The servers are offline. There is no clear answer. A 10-hour linear masterpiece can cost $60. A 200-hour open world game can cost $60. A free-to-play live service game can cost you your dignity. A $60 game can cost $3 on Steam because Gaben has a massive cost. And a game you bought can just randomly disappear from your library because the publisher said so. That's it, dude. So the question is not just, is this BBL worth $80? The real question is, what are we actually paying for? And here's the weird part. Even though everybody's screaming about the $80 games might be actually cheaper than they ever used to be. I know, disgusting. I hate when economics and bunch of bullshit number ruin my anger. But it's true. If you go all the way back to the Stone Age, also known as 1977, the Atari VCS was launched at $199. And maybe the included games didn't please your 70s colorful ass, so you asked your cooked up dad to buy you another game and that would add another $30. This brings our total to about $229. Not that insane, not that bad, right? But then you remember my good friend Mr. Inflation, that if you convert it, that would add up to roughly $1,200 just to play this. In the 90s, if you want to play as a horny short Italian man jumping on turtles, you need to buy a cartridge of Mario Bros. 3 that would cost about $49. Adjusted for my friend here, Mr. Inflation here again, that would add up to roughly $120 for that. Remember, back then a Big Mac used to cost around $2.50. Nowadays, a Big Mac is considered a fine dining experience. Oh, good sir, may I inquire about these exquisite sauces that goes alongside these scrumptious 4-piece chicken nuggets that each goes for, what, €1 each? Jesus Christ. For a while, video game prices kind of made sense. 6th gen games were usually about $50 each. Then the 7th and 8th generation games mostly settled around $60. And now modern games are hovering around $70 to $80. The jump from 50 to 60 happened when the games became HD. Higher quality, higher prices. The jump from 60 to 70 happened when the games became 4K for the next generation of gaming. So surely better graphics explains the pricing, right? Except, not really. Because if graphics decided the price, then why did Virtual Racing on Sega Genesis cost $100? I mean, $200. Calm down, Mr. Inflation. Jesus Christ. Why does the PS4 version of Ghost of Tsushima cost less, but if you want to upgrade it for next gen, you need to pay another $10? So that $10 has to be for performance and graphical upgrade, right? Then why does Resident Evil 4 cost the same on old gen and next gen? If you want to upgrade God of War Ragnarok, it costs $10. I mean, look at the difference between these two. I tricked you, man. I scammed you. They're both the old gen. So maybe it's not graphics. Maybe it's the content of the game that dictates the price. But then why a remake can cost less than other games, even though it has the same amount of content, has better graphics, and is technically new? So it has to be the length of the game, right? That's why Little Nightmare games are cheaper even though they're so good. But then why Resident Evil 3 was launched at the full price even though it's shorter than my will to live? It doesn't make sense. The more you look at video game pricing, the more it looks like industry is just throwing a bunch of random numbers at the wall and to see what players will accept. And maybe that's part of the answer. That's why Nintendo games always go at full price no matter how old they are, because Nintendo fans are willing to lick off those numbers off those walls. That's why Rockstar set the game at $80, because we know that you know that they know that we know that we're gonna buy the game regardless. Everyone's perception of value is different. To one person, a Gucci bag is the dumbest shit ever. To one person, it's their whole personality. And it's up to you to decide that GTA 6 deserves your money or not. Shit. Oh man, what can I say? I'm shallow. When you look at inflation, games are not as expensive as they could be. Not counting overpriced microtransactions, battle passes, deluxe editions, premium currencies, all that bullshit, alright? But modern AAA gaming is so weird. We live in a time that gaming is bigger than it's ever been. And somehow gaming is in its worst point that it's ever been at the same time. Don't get me wrong, $60 is a lot, but for a game that is unforgettable and a dev put their heart and soul into it, sometimes $60 seems like a steal. The cost of making video games are skyrocketing. The time it takes to make them is skyrocketing. Look at this chart I made for every major GTA game release. GTA San Andreas took 2 years, plus 10 million to develop. Then we go all the way down here. GTA 6 took more than 10 years, and it costed 2 Khalifa towers combined. And somehow GTA San Andreas, accounting for inflation, costed more than GTA 6 technically. And I'm not trying to say one game is better than the other. GTA San Andreas is a classic, and I'm also not trying to defend a multi-billion-dollar Arasaka company. I'm just looking at it solely through the cost to make and the cost to buy a game. Modern AAA games take hundreds, sometimes thousands of people to make Last of Us rope mechanics be the most realistic rope mechanics ever seen to mankind. And when games get this expensive, the publishers get terrified of risks. Believe it or not, the stocks of Take-Two dropped 3% when the investors apparently thought that the $80 price tag was too low for the game. Every studio nowadays needs to meet the investors' expectations, or they get shut down. People lose their jobs, or they get absorbed into other studios, or they directly get sent to the Call of Duty mines. Congratulations, you made one creative game? Oh, now spend your next 7 years animating realistic reloads for Warzone. And Ubisoft acts like, oh, if you don't buy the Rayman Legends remake, oh, that's cute, we're gonna shelve your favorite IP and we're gonna spend the next 25 years make, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Rush Hour 25th. Because that's gonna sell regardless. A weird new game idea is not exciting to shareholders. It's financially concerning to them. And that's why we end up with safe sequels, safe remakes, and safe live service slop. And publishers treating original ideas like they're like some sort of contagious disease. Oh, stay away from me, dude. I don't want to risk losing money. Get away from me. Go away. What is that? I want another live service game, and come on. Come on, Last of Us live service, God of War live service, Concord live service, Horizon live service, Please Kill Me live service. Because one mediocre performing game can shut down a whole studio. One expensive flop can shelve your favorite IP. And thanks to today's sponsor, me. We all know that better graphics are hurting video games more than helping them. I got into detail about it in my other video, go give it a watch. Same goes for the new Gears of War. With a recent report from Tom Henderson, allegedly, we know that this game is costing around $400 million to produce. That's a big number. And the problem is that for this game to even break even, it needs to sell 7.1 million copies. Then it needs to justify Game Pass. Then it needs to save Xbox. Then it needs to satisfy the shareholders. And after that, it needs to bring back my father because he never came back after buying milk. And the scary part is that even if the game is great, if the numbers don't make sense to those big evil laugh suit guys on the top, the game is going to be considered a failure. Because modern games are not just competing with other games anymore. They're competing with their own budgets. And this is where the whole debate about the GTA price tag gets weird. Because we keep asking, is GTA 6 worth $80? We're asking the wrong question. Because there's no universal answer. To one person, $80 for GTA 6 is insane. To one person, it's the fastest pre-order of their life. To one person, a 40-hour-long walking simulator is a scam for $60. To another person, it's an unforgettable art. Oh, I'm that person. I'm just better. I went to the concert. I got my feet scanned by Kojima there. At the end of the day, the value of a game is in the player's eyes. When I play Bloodborne, I would gladly pay 60 bucks, kiss Miyazaki on his forehead, then I would still feel like I owe him something. And there are indie games that a game is made by one person in one cave for 6 years and it costs 10 bucks and it includes a free massage from the developer himself. But when I pay the same price for a soulless AAA game slop that gets released yearly, suddenly that $70 feel like I got mugged by a big corporation. Nah, I don't mean the new Gen Z mugged. Not that. I mean I got robbed. Stolen. And that's where modern gaming gets really disgusting. Because modern games don't expect us to pay more now. They expect us to pre-order games without seeing any real gameplay. They release broken games with day one 200 gigabytes patches. And nowadays they release games without a physical disc. And according to PlayStation, after 2028 we're not gonna even have discs anymore. Which is disgusting. They sell us digital copies that we don't really own. We cannot resell, we cannot lend, we cannot physically hold them and be like, yes, I have it, even for the sake of game preservation. And sometimes we cannot access forever because, I don't know, it was online and they just removed it. Same goes for like Silent Hill PT. There's no way to access it unless you emulate it on the PC and you cannot have it because it's gone. It was digital. After all this, they still push for like deluxe editions and microtransactions and like give us your money baby editions. You see that store in GTA 6? Oh, oopsie, sorry, you cannot enter that because you didn't drop 100 bucks on GTA 6. So maybe GTA 6 will be worth $80, or maybe it won't be for a game that you don't even physically own. That depends on what the game decides to give back, because the price is what they charge you, but the value is what the game means to you. And also, remember, when a game exceeds your humble $0 budget, there's always a fit girl and Gaben. Catch you in the next video. Bye!